The reason why Trump has to be dealt with is because, again, make all the jokes you want, but 8 years ago, he was making decisions, half-cocked in many instances, but he was making decisions of which he was relatively of sound mind and body. Now he clearly isn't. And when he makes these speeches, I mean, what can you say? It's one thing if he's going off half-cocked at a press conference and he doesn't know anything, and it isn't about anything of relative, vital importance. For example, if he's boasting about what he's doing to the grand ballroom at the White House. Okay, whatever, it's ridiculous and it's the greatest ballroom you've ever seen. Who cares? But when you're talking about life and death, when you're talking about World War III and you're joking about this shit like it's not that big of a deal, I'm sorry, but this is where the 25th Amendment was created for situations like this, where the more you allow this to go on, the more likely we get to a situation where maybe a nuclear bomb somehow manages to slip through the cracks. That's the type of shit where you want to take him out of office. You take him out for the reasons that actually matter. But as we know, the primary motivation, especially in the ultra neoliberal class, is they just don't like him. They would rather have somebody else in their selling empire. It isn't about saving the world. We know that much.
No, it's all the same. They're all friends. 6 of one, half a dozen the other. The reason they don't like him is because he exposes all of them. That's why they don't like him. It isn't because they disagree with him or have different morals than him or different economic principles than him. It's that he exposes them, and they don't like that because everybody wants to hold him accountable for all of these, things that he does that are just so disgusting. But so many of them do those same things. So that's the problem. And having somebody like Trump that makes it so obvious and makes everybody want to go after them with pitchforks is bringing attention to all of them. And that is why they don't like him. And I'm here for it. I've said it. I'm down with him the whole time. Bring it. So he was never that bright. Let me just say this. He was never that bright to begin with.
No, I'm really, really bright. You don't know what you're doing.
No, he was never that bright at all. And he is now also clearly demented and confabulating entire stories that are just completely not true. And not in a deceitful lying thing, I think he actually believes it thing.
Which is why people should just be, oh, Mr. President, you're doing a wonderful job. You've won the war. It's all over.
Well, that's what I think they tell him. That's exactly why I think that he says that. I think that people like Hegseth and Rubio and Jared Kushner and Witkoff and whoever these people are telling him, we're doing well, we're winning, we've eliminated their entire Navy. Well, yeah, maybe, because they never really had much of a Navy. They didn't really have a Navy. That's not the problem, right? So I think they're telling him certain things that are kind of true-ish, and then making up what the context is so that he has I don't think he has any idea.
Did you hear what you just did? True-ish. I'm Jew-ish. Just right. like Trump is very Jew-ish.
Right. So they tell him whatever they want him. I think he is in an information silo. And he only knows what they let him know. He only puts out information. He's diarrhea of the mouth, but he doesn't actually read anything and intake any information. So I don't think he knows anything other than what those people are telling him. And I think he is demented and confabulating on top of that. So yeah, and the whole world is laughing at him. The whole world is laughing at him. And you know what is so pathetic is he might not know. And maybe he is demented and he doesn't know, and he'll die not knowing. Who the hell knows? But this is the legacy that is being left for his children and grandchildren. This is what they're going to have to now live with. Like, they're going to know that their, patriarch was this, and the whole world is mocking him.
This is why our system is going to take a lot longer to break completely, because there's still people like like the king in Vegas, who wants you to know that he made a lot of money investing in the Chevron stock, which is going to the moon. I knew about this way before, and I could have easily put thousands of dollars into it. But at the end of the day, can you live with yourself knowing that you're now a war profiteer? Because that's what you are. This is blood money, Elvis. I hope you realize that. Like when you invest in this,
this is, look.
This is people dying. This is American soldiers dying. They came out today and they said that 13 American soldiers are the ones who died in this war. There was an attack last night where they had to admit that 37 Americans died in one bombing last night. So congratulations, you made money. And a whole bunch of Americans had to die for you to make a few bucks. So this is what the commander-in-chief actually had to say.
They should take the lead in protecting the oil that they so desperately depend on. So to those countries that can't get fuel, many of which refuse to get involved in the decapitation of Iran, we had to do it ourselves. I have a suggestion. Number one, buy oil from the United States of America. We have plenty. We have so much.
We've really got
This whole
too much.
thing is absurd. There is not a single thing that he said that wasn't laughable if it weren't so tragic. And the whole world is like, people, who's really making a lot of money is Putin. Putin's making a fortune off of this right now. So for all those Democrats who are so anti-Putin, he's laughing all the way to the bank. And Iran, ironically, a lot of the big money there is still making money because he did lift the sanctions, because of course he did.
For sure.
And number two, build up some delayed courage. Should have done it before, should have done it with us, as we asked. Go to the strait and just take it, protect it, use it for yourselves. Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done, so it should be easy.
I mean,
The hard part is done.
The hard part is done.
He's
As
done
I
nothing.
said, 37 American soldiers were killed last night in a bombing by Iran. Yeah, they're devastated. They're completely destroyed. You let the president talk like
Where
this?
was this, in Lebanon?
I believe so. I have to double check where it took place, but I believe it was.
So then that would be Israel did it, unless you're telling me that it happened.
Hey, you know what? That's certainly possible.
So we need to know before we say where 37 people were killed.
Yeah. Well, even if that were the case, regardless of the specific spot, I do agree with you that the likelihood, this is why we bring up the USS Liberty as often as we do and have had guests on. You think that the USS Liberty, like a lot of things in the American-Israel unholy alliance for the past 3 generations, do you really think that that's the only incident in which Israel murdered our service members and blamed it on somebody else?
Well, no, I think that that's just their MO. This is what they do. But I do think that a lot of misinformation can get out. So I think if we're going to say, okay, that we need to have exact facts. I did not know that if that just happened. Then we need to know where, because I'm not just.
Also, I'll see what I can grab, but this is again part of the reason. Tam McIntosh, who is saying that it's Lebanon.
That's what makes the most sense to me. Right. So what difference does that make to us?
What difference does it make?
We don't care.
Yeah,
we don't care.
Really. We'll finish.
And here's something else I'd have to say, though, quite honestly, and I do believe this, and I do not say this as to the individual people and service people that get killed. This is not what I'm not referring to them specifically, but we ought not be in these places to begin with, right? So if we weren't there, why are we there? Why are there so many U.S. service people? Why are we there? Why are we in Lebanon? Why are we there? What is our mission in Lebanon? Why are we in Lebanon? Why?
Somebody did a video today suggesting that the reason that this is all happening is because Israel doesn't have enough room for its people, so it has to expand its borders. I've heard some dumb shit in my life, but that's up there. We'll finish this one out.
Please.
And in any event, when this conflict is over, the strait will open up naturally. It'll just open up naturally.
Wait a minute. I thought you just said that the strait is open. So which one is it?
Well, the strait is open, just not for us.
Not for us.
The strait is open unless you're dealing in dollars. If you're dealing in dollars, it's closed for you. Yeah. So.
We're just totally going to bribe them. We'll bribe the shit out of them and they'll open their doors.
And here's what's so interesting. This is the complete lunacy of all of this. The strait was open until you attacked them. So if you had just left them alone, it was just open, right? It would be one thing if Iran closed the strait and that was the first act of aggression by shutting down the oil supply. Then you could say, all right, that was going on offense, that's shutting down our oil supply, then we need to, okay. That's not what happened. The strait was open.
I'll tell you, you know what I think would happen? I think if you had a chance to sit down with the president and present him with the stickiest of the icky and just told him to hold it in for a few seconds, just let it out gently, he might actually see straight for the first time in a long time, make a few decisions that are a little bit more sound of mind.
If I talk to him?
Yeah, if you just got him to, take a few puffs and passed it to his homeboy on the left.
He's like pretty anti-weed, I think.
He is pretty much anti a lot of that stuff.
I mean, he's not in terms of like criminalization. He's never been that. That's not what I mean. But
No,
I think as far as him doing it, yeah.
Of all people, I think it would help him. Yeah.
They're going to want to be able to sell oil because that's all they have to try and rebuild. It will resume the flowing and the gas prices will rapidly come back down. Stock prices will rapidly go back up.
It's just going to happen.
The
strait's just going to open. It is open, just not for us.
Not for us.
And not for our anybody who's trading on US dollars. So what's going to happen is the rest of the world is going to realize that being affiliated with us is like a death sentence. And then they're not going to be affiliated with us. Also, NATO is going to cease to exist, which that's good. I mean, like that is neither here nor there. But we're not going to have anything. The rest of the world they're going to just let us go. And
that's all they're going to need to do.
And Donnie doesn't seem to understand this, which is, I don't know that he ever understood this.
Unfortunately, I think that this is a reflection of how a lot of Americans think. They're just kind of
the problem is we're not self-sufficient, people.
We're not.
We're just not.
Which is why we're trying to teach people that they need to be. That's the imperative component of our channel, is trying to expound upon that.
Elvis, Peter does not love the US dollar. You are very wrong. Did you see that?
I don't know. I mean, I love my country. I hate the people who run it. I don't love
No,
the
he
US
means
dollar.
you like the dollar, Peter, that you're about the dollar. If Peter's not about the dollar, Peter's been working for free with me for like 7 years.
I like money. I'm sure some people will get that reference. But Trump's not done. Not even close.
Say tonight that we are on track to complete all of America's military objectives shortly, very shortly. We're going to hit them extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong.
Stop that right now, please. Okay.
Going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong.
The level of caucasity in what he's saying is so enraging to me. Like, he's so fucking stupid. First of all, Donnie, in the Stone Age, your people were playing with sticks and their people were doing algebra. In the Stone, right? Like, so what does that even mean in the Stone Age? Because if you want to go back to the Stone Age, then they'll really whoop your ass. The Stone Age. He doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about.
On the one hand, he's talking about
we're totally opening up the strait and we're going to have peace. We're going to negotiate peace. But first, we're going to bomb them back to the Stone Age and then they're going to come to the table.
He doesn't even know what that means. He's thinking of like cavemen and stuff because he's a moron.
Yes.
That's why.
Yes.
but that's
He's
not
certainly
what
not
we're
the
talking
sharpest knife in the drawer. But you see, he was always very instinctual. He always had a very good read on a room. He doesn't have that anymore. It's basically gone now. And so what you're left with is this just completely decrepit, unkempt, grating to
please.
listen to, even more
But
grating to look at.
so unbelievably white supremacist. And I am thankful that, and I've said this before, that in most places around the world that I have been educated about or have seen things about the people, they do understand the difference between US empire and US people. They do. They do. And in fact, when this is done, I have a little clip that I wanted to share in that regard. And we need to be thankful for that, that the majority of the world does know that this does not represent the majority of Americans. They do.
In the meantime, discussions are ongoing. Regime change was not our goal. We never said regime change, but regime change has occurred because of all of their original leaders' death. They're all dead.
And then he goes into, which I know we got to be done with him because I can't, but then he goes into that now the new people, the new leadership, the next generation is more moderate. No, Donnie, it's not more moderate. You now have in power the person who you killed his father and his daughter. And he was already more radical to begin with.
But
And
he's
was
totally
already,
going to get over it. He'll totally get over it.
yeah, I'm sure he'll get over it. I'm not getting over it. So I don't see how he'll get over it.
No, this is, like you said, he was going to not only facilitate the revolution, but he's going to accelerate it into its inevitable conclusion.